Live from the corner of York and Roosevelt Road, where you always save more money, it's the Pandemic Talk Show, featuring TJ Shanoff and the Stay-at-Home Orchestra. Today's guests from the Silver Room, Eric Williams, and from Renegade Cafe and La Familia Green, Mollie Green. And now the man who always saves you more money, Justin Kaufman.
Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the Pandemic Talk Show. It's so loud. We're having so much fun.
Wow.
It's loud.
The intro's so nice.
Let's do it twice.
Well, forget it, guys. We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Just scratch this.
Start again.
Okay, let's start again.
No, I liked it. I thought that was good energy. It was strong energy. You know, louder means more energy. We're all in improv. That's what we were taught, right?
Be loud, be a misogynist. You'll make it an improv. Those are the rules.
You'll make it an improv. Hello, everybody. I am Justin Kaufman. This is the Pandemic Talk Show live daily. We do Tuesday through Thursday. Of course, Scott Goldstein's here, TJ Shanoff as well. TJ, how are you, buddy?
Hey, happy Earth Day to ya. Happy Earth Day to ya. Happy Earth Day. A little Stevie Wonder for you today. It's Earth Day.
It is Earth Day. Good. This has got to be the one. I mean, this has got to be the holiday everyone forgets because obviously Earth Day is about staying inside. It's like going out and doing anything today. Yeah, so I feel like this is the one that people are like, next year would be great for Earth Day. But it is Earth Day here in Chicago and around the world, of course. And that's great for all the monkeys that are on the loose and the kangaroos and all the videos you see on your Facebook feed showing wild animals walking through a Chipotle. So it seems like that's essentially what's happening right now.
Okay, that was. Are we back?
We're back. That's right. All right.
Live
so
internet broadcast.
Oh, you got it. Good. Well, you know what? Here we go. We got a great show lined up. Two of Chicago's best small business owners. The Silver Room in Hyde Park, which used to be in Wicker Park, owner Eric Williams is going to join us. Eric's great, man. I've always enjoyed having conversations with him about his life, about business, and what he has done to the Silver Room, not just to have a store that sells great jewelry and clothing apparel, but it also is an epicenter of a community in Chicago. And the Silver Room Block Party, which was, I think there was like thousands and thousands of people go out to 53rd Street every summer for the Silver Room Block Party, has been canceled this year, which is a huge bummer for Chicago, but and a huge issue for Eric and his business. We'll talk to Eric. Mollie Green's also going to join me from La Familia greeting cards, one of the great DIY craft shops in Chicago. And of course, you can find her stuff in all the great stores here, but around the country, around the world. And she is a staple. She's a fixture at the Renegade Craft Fair, which they're going virtual this weekend, which is awesome. This idea that they're trying to take that craft fair, which, you know, in the wintertime, it might be at the Bridgeport Arts Center. In the summertime, it's all along Division Street. But they're not going to be able to do any of that stuff because if you've been to the craft fair, you know there's a lot of people sneezing shoulder to shoulder.
It's known for that.
It's known for that. But they're going virtual to try and help out small businesses and craft makers in Chicago. So that's coming up this weekend. So we'll talk with Mollie. So before we do that, though, let's get to the monologue. Are you guys ready? Let's do this. All right. So Mayor Lightfoot convened a virtual city council meeting today, which probably should have been done before, seeing that half the aldermen are already on house arrest. So.
You think, Ed Burke, he looks like an extra from The Departed. Do you think he wears the hat when he's at home? Like when he's going to the bathroom in the morning, he wears the hat?
My guess is that he's wearing no pants during that virtual meeting and stirrup socks. You know, like you're doing baseball, like to hold the socks up. I bet you that's what he's wearing.
That's my look.
Also wearing no hat and no pants and a nice hat, Dorothy Tillman.
She just zooms in, even though she's not an alderman anymore. She's just like, I want to see what it's like. So,
Dorothy Tillman's not an alderman? Is that breaking news?
From about 10 years ago, but sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't read, all right?
The mayor's opponents in the council, listen to this is crazy. Today they blocked a resolution that would have given the mayor unlimited spending power to deal with COVID-19 response. They blocked it. Too much power. Wait, so this This is what you stand up for, a global pandemic. You were fine when we privatized parking meters or covered up Laquan McDonald shooting. You're fine on those, but the global pandemic, too much power.
They passed and repealed the foie gras ban like that.
That's what I mean. That they're willing to have more conversation about foie gras than giving the ability to the mayor to deal with this crisis. So
I don't remember a conversation about selling the Skyway before it happened. Just happened.
Yeah, right. There you go. It just happened. A list of major television events drawing huge ratings all week continued with last night's tribute to Prince. Did you watch that on CBS last night?
I tuned in. Great.
It was great. I tuned in for a little while. It's great. It rivaled the ratings for the Bulls' Last Dance documentary on Sunday and Saturday's One World Global concert that featured Michelle Obama. In an effort to provide balance, Fox News will broadcast their own live event. Hey, white people are great too.
That's also what Fox News broadcasts all the time. It's not just a recent thing. Hey, white people.
That they've got that's their daily programming, right?
Right. No offense, Scott.
I'm okay.
The NFL draft starts tomorrow. They're doing it virtually, of course. And with all the sports closed up, Vegas is predicting that the draft will be the most bet on draft in NFL history. Safest bets, Bears screwed up. The Bears' Ryan Pace is drafting from his living room. The question will be whether his wife will yell at him about spending too much time on it. You said this draft would take an hour and it's been 3 days. Hey, babe, a lot of guys are auto drafting. I can't help it.
That's why you got to set your cue. Yeah. Got to set that cue for auto draft.
Hey, Jerry Jones, you're on auto draft. You don't need 4 minutes to make your pick. We get it. You're
too busy watching Fox News.
Right. I just can't wait for Ryan Pace to be like, is there a kicker? Do I need a kicker yet? Should I draft the defense? All right, that's the monologue for today for 22nd, 2020. Woo! All right, before we get to Eric Williams, let's get our first break of the program with Goldie. Goldie?
Are you wondering how to support unemployed service workers in these hard times? Go to chicagoservicerelief.com, a directory of fundraisers for Chicago bars, venues, restaurants, and other service-based businesses that can use our help during this state-mandated shutdown. And it's 420 all month long. At Grown In, it doesn't need to be 420 in order for you to get a proper dose of cannabis industry news, education, and networking opportunities. Subscribe to free newsletters and tap into the goings-on of our newest essential industry at www.grownin.com. Be in the know and get in the grow with Grown In.
Sorry, I was tweeting.
That's okay.
Is that the toilet?
TJ was in the bathroom, so I guess he's always in the bathroom.
Yeah. The best studio in business right now is TJ Shanoff's bathroom studio.
Just said he wouldn't have a Tums.
He doesn't pay by the hour, it's by Tums. You have Tums. You can get. All right. My first guest today during this, of course, the pandemic talk show daily is a man who owns the Silver Room, which is one of the great Chicago small businesses, also runs the Silver Room Block Party, which attracts, thousands and thousands of people to 53rd Street every single summer. Got the terrible news that it will be postponed and not be done this year. And it's going to be hopefully replaced and done the year after. But give it up, everybody, for Eric Williams. Yeah, look at that.
Hey,
how's it going, buddy?
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I like the backdrop. Where are you at right now?
At home, at my house.
Yeah? Is this the living room? Is this what is this, the downstairs? Where are you at?
The living room, got some art in the back, man. So, yeah. Just chilling.
That's what everybody's tuning in for. They want to see Eric's living room, see what it looks like.
Cool.
All right. So first off, obviously, I've been kind of talking about it leading up to this. The Silver Room is considered a non-essential business, although I think you could do jewelry curbside. Me personally, I think you could. But then also the announcement came out last week that the Silver Room block parties can be canceled. Tough. Two whammies right in a row there.
Yeah, man. We've been working on this since October, and I had a lot of people reach out and say, oh, it's too early to cancel. And people who don't do events don't understand the events just don't pop up like a week before the event happens. You got fundraising, you got booking people. And our event is, we have a lot of performers. I would argue more than most, even some of the bigger events, we have more performers. That's the nature of the event.
Right.
Last year we had about 100 performers. We have, 100 local vendors, and it's a lot, and just last year we had about 45,000 people, which was an issue when you don't have enough space. So I'm trying to figure out how to get more space. This is something I've funded, out of pocket for the most part, which is now I can't do anymore. So I was already trying to think about different ways to create more space, also to create ways to make this make sense financially. And then I had a couple ideas, and then here comes Corona, and then everything stops. So no one's trying to fund you in the middle of a pandemic. How do you go to a sponsor and say, hey, can you give me $50,000? I know you lost, $200 million in market value, but I need some money for my little party in July. Then you have artists who are just uncertain. I have local vendors who we have who, we charge them a couple $100. They're not working right now. I have my daughter, who you just saw in the back. She's being homeschooled right now. The store's closed right now. I was like, what, this is kind of crazy. Like, I don't have to do this right now. We don't know what's going to happen, and is it going to be a month or 2 or 3? You've been hearing everything. And just for my personal health, my mental health, my emotional health, I just decided to just say, let me just put this on pause.
Yeah, right. You have to. I mean, there's no way that because that's usually happening in July, and it's so huge, and thousands and thousands of people. We could spend the rest of this Zoom just talking about how successful that block party has become, because frankly, before that time, it was the more traditional street festivals and things that you might see on 53rd Street and other. But this takes it to a whole new level. As being someone who's been there a couple times, you don't see anything like it. I mean, you might have your Lollapaloozas and your Pitchforks and other places, but this was taking the best of what a street festival was and taking the best of what Hyde Park can offer and kind of shoving it together, and it was magical.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's I'm definitely not happy about this. And last year we generated almost $3 million in revenue for the community. I said we have 100 vendors who make a lot of money, and that money they make, they use that moving forward for the rest of the summer. We make connections with all kind of folks. The hotels are packed. Just it's good vibes.
Yeah.
So. And Justin, you remember us from back in Wicker Park days.
Yeah, right.
And it's grown since then, and it just has a huge impact. The quantitative and the qualitative stories you hear, it just means a lot. But this year we're just not going to do it. So.
All right. Well, what does it mean for the business? I mean, is it too early to say that, because you're seeing all this stuff about PPP loans and the idea of non-essential businesses getting bailed out? Are you applying for that? Are you anticipating getting money? Or you got to make a tough decision on your own business, the Silver Room in general?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is too. I've been open for 22 years, so luckily, we'll be okay. We have a supportive community and people like yourself and people who support the store. I have applied for some things, so hopefully something will come through in the next 7 to 10 days, from what I'm understanding. They just re-upped it yesterday, so hopefully I'm in line for some of that. Luckily, my landlord is University of Chicago, and University of Chicago, they actually forgave my rent for April.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So shout out to UFC.
Shout out to UFC.
And not just me, I'm pretty sure they did it for most of their tenants. I'm pretty sure they did. So luckily I have a good landlord. But yeah, I mean, I have employees, most of them are artists and makers, and not only did they lose the job they have for us, but their DJs, their photographers, they lost all their gigs, and that's tough. That's really tough to know that this economy that was, a gig economy for creatives that worked, people piece together money here and there, and it kind of worked, and now it doesn't work, and you don't know what's going to happen after this. So, and I think for me, it's the uncertainty. I've been on all kind of webinars and conferences, and projections and forecasts about the next 6 months, and nobody knows, man. Like, nobody knows. I don't, I'm probably more of an optimist. And I think that, human connection is important. This is great, Justin. I love seeing you like now, but I'd rather, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, my hope is, and my wish is that once this is, deemed to be safe to go back out, people will actually want to go out, support small businesses, and go to the restaurants, and and have the money to do so. So I'm just, again, I feel like it. Again, I'm being hopeful that it won't be as bad as everybody's making it out to be. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, right. Well, I think about your career, and we've talked before, and I've learned a lot about what you've done. I was telling these guys beforehand that you're a Chicago true true and true. I mean, to the point where we were talking about selling stuff outside of Wrigley Field, you know, like doing the vendor, being a vendor out there and trying to sell your wares. I mean, you have been a part of this city. Remind people who maybe not heard that before that, you know, that's how you got your start, just essentially selling T-shirts outside the Wrigley Field.
Yeah. So I went to UIC. I was a finance major at UIC. This is back in the day. What year was that? I'm gonna tell you, y'all don't care. It was 1989, 1990. So I was a finance major, but for those of you from Chicago, you remember the old Maxwell Street a few blocks away, not the new one, the old school Maxwell.
Hell yeah.
So I had an uncle that used to sell down there. He sold tools, which I'm not sure where he got them from, but he sold tools down at Maxwell Street. That was one of the staple things that folks sold down there. Anyway, I would go down there and hang out, and I met a guy who he sold T-shirts. And so I started buying it from this guy. He goes, "Oh, if you're in school, in college, you can sell to the college kids down the street." I'd buy these Bart. This was back when Bart Simpson just come out. And never forget, it was a shirt. It was a picture of Homer Simpson bent over. You can see his butt. It said "Crack Kills." That shirt, meaning it paid.
Classic.
That shirt tuition, man. So I started buying these T-shirts and selling them over there. And my sales on Wabash, again, you know, Wabash was so different. Roosevelt was so different. Halsted was so different. And I started selling stuff. And I started selling the trains, and then I was selling peanuts, and I was selling stuff at the Cubs games on Chicago Avenue. Anyway, I graduated. I have a degree in finance, and I got my Series 7. I was doing securities and, you know, and bonds and all that stuff. And after 8 months, I hated it. I didn't like it. I'm like, okay, well, let me quit. I didn't have a job. So the only thing I knew how to do was sell stuff. So I went back to selling stuff. And so that was from like 1989 until 97. When I opened the store, I was a street vendor.
Well, that's what I love about your story is that it's true, not only True Blue Chicago, but I mean, when we hear all these stories of, you know, these asshole stories about, you know, businesses that are getting bailed out and, you know, that, well, and it's opposite of the American way. There's no bootstraps involved in half the companies that are getting, you know, that are getting bailed out right now. I think of yours, and I'm like, this is a perfect American story for a guy who started selling Homer Simpson T-shirts to having a block party that attracts, I don't know, what, thousands and thousands of people. How many? 50,000. Yeah. That's amazing to me. Yeah. Eric, where can we help? Are you doing anything online to help the Silver Room or the employees, or sure. What do you want our attention to be brought to?
Sure. So one thing is I love human connection, and it's been great, but in some ways it's kind of hurt me because I never really built a robust online store like I probably should have. I'm so focused on this in-store experience, you know. So we do have an online store. That's something I've been working on since I'm unemployed now. So you can go to silverroom.com. We can shop. We have tons of stuff online. You can buy stuff there. Also, for our employees, we have a GoFundMe. It's the Silver Room. Actually, you can get it through our website. It's for the employees, man. They're out of work. You know, I've been helping them out as much as I can, but you know, luckily we have some great customers who know that this is not just, you know, it's not a store. It's beyond a store. This is a community. You know what I mean? You know the people. You come in, you say hi, and how's your mom doing? And you come in and have debates about, you know, football games and, you know, politics. You know what I mean? Like that to me is the essence of what a small business really is. That can't really be replaced, in my opinion, online workers. You know, it's the in-person thing. And you know, I was thinking about all the forecasts of what's going to happen, and you see people now are skeptical. You know, you walk around and like, this guy got COVID-19. You know, you sense that. You know, people are like afraid of one another, and then you, on top of that, wearing a mask is just this fear and anxiety on top of us not having good leadership. You know, from the White House, it just creates a whole nother. It's fear, man. Yeah. So I'm hoping that once we come out of this, people will get back at some point when it's safe to close and wanting to talk. So anyway, but I think that's what the store really is about. It's about a community, and I can't wait to get back to that. But yes, meanwhile, you can go online, shop, GoFundMe for the employees. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Hey, Eric, if you change your business name to Trump Hotel, you might get a government assistance. Just think about it.
Oh, Ruth Chris, they got 20.
Become a steakhouse, Eric. Come on now.
Yeah.
Eric Williams, the Silver Room Block Party, one of Chicago's greats, small business owners. Eric, great to see you, man. Good to see your living room too. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
It's good to see you. I've been following you for a long time. We've been friends for a long time. I love your work, and it's good to see you on here.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Eric Williams, Silver Room Block Party. Oh, he's great, man. He's great. The Silver Room Block Party is a jam. I'm telling you. That's the one thing, when you hear all this stuff about, Chicago might not happen or they canceled Blues Fest. And when they said that they were going to cancel Silver Room Block Party, that's the one I went, oh, man, that's Chicago summer.
They better not cancel my Hamilton tickets.
DJ, I have some bad news.
Go on.
Hamilton has been canceled.
Hamilton's been canceled. I don't know. I've got the way my Zoom is set up for this live show. It mirrors back to me. So the whole time Eric is talking, I'm listening to him, and I love it. I mean, he's such a thoughtful guy. And the whole time I'm like, what is going on with this beard? Like, what is happening? Like, I feel like this quarantine beard's getting out of control, man. Look at this thing. It's like, you can see it like here, a whole bit.
You should start growing it out and then grow it down really long and then comb it over.
How do you do?
Just do like a big, huge.
Well, I want to do like the guy who's like the main guy who almost won on Lego Masters. Like he was one of the I watched with my son. His beard goes down to here. How do you get to do that? Like I'd like to see that. Mine's not growing that way.
Look, what do you want from me? I shaved mine off out of boredom.
And then grew it back out of boredom and then shaved it off out of boredom, right? Isn't that the lineage of Goldie's beard? The next Goldie's beard.
You need something to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you do.
Speaking of Goldie's got a new segment we're doing here on the Pandemic Talk Show, which airs live Tuesday through Thursday here on YouTube, of course, through Zoom. Goldie's going to give us the news. Let's give us a little some headlines and get the news that you might be missing by watching this show. Take it away, Goldie.
All right. Well, a new Twitter conspiracy has emerged as hackers say they have found emails that show Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, and a lab in China will be exposed as the sources of the COVID-19 pandemic. When reached for comment, the hackers emitted a high-pitched shriek, spread their wings, and flew into the darkness to eat bugs. In Cambridge, Harvard University, a school with a $40 billion endowment, received $8 million in stimulus funding. Meanwhile, in Tinley Park, the DeVry Technical Institute received a new Royal Crown Cola machine for the food court.
Yeah, that better have some Hawaii, like the pineapple crush in that machine. You know what I mean? Like you remember the orange crush, but then
there's a limited amount of stimulus dollars. They get Royal Crown and Diet Right, and that's it.
And maybe Tahitian treat.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going back to the serious news. Things are getting tense in the Persian Gulf as the president tweeted that the U.S. military will shoot down any Iranian boats that harass U.S. naval ships. He followed this up by saying that any planes violating U.S. airspace will be immediately sunk and warned that Space Force would tailgate and hit the bumper of any Iranian satellites in orbit. And that's the news. The fake news.
No, that's real, man. That was real.
That was real.
It's real. Good news. Good news, Goldie. That's what we're going to start calling you. Good news, Goldie. That should be the name of the song. You can't make a song for that, TJ? Good news, Goldie.
That's his spinoff. When we're going to do it behind your back. All right.
I'm in talks with Vimeo.
Right.
About your porn addiction, but that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing.
Vimeo porn,
Right.
I hate to say, is the most boring porn. It's all student film porn. It's all about deeper meanings.
Yeah. All right. Our next guest today is another great Chicago small business owner, Mollie Green. She owns La Familia Greeting Cards, which is a tremendous outfit, and is in all the stores, all the artisan stores that you might see in Lincoln Square, Andersonville, Lakeview, downtown, wherever it might be. And she also is a part of. She's always one of the popular stops for the Renegade Craft Fair. And she is joining us now. Mollie Green, welcome to the Pandemic Talk Show. There she is. Get that video up. It's going to work. I have a feeling it's going to work.
It's always a crapshoot.
Always a crapshoot. She's almost there, right? Yeah, almost.
And now here's Mollie.
Close. I think she's coming online. This could be it. This could be it. I love this.
Once
I love
again.
this live.
Here's Mollie. We'll do it live.
I did
We'll
it.
do it live.
Yay.
right, we did it.
And we're out of time. Thank
How's
you,
it going?
Mollie, for
Good to see
joining
you,
us.
Molly.
I was just
Molly, how
watching
are
like
you?
a ball spin.
I love it. Good to see you, and welcome to the Pandemic Talk Show.
I
And
was telling Mike that like the look right now is just like people looking in the screen trying to like join videos. So that's the thing, right?
where are you at? Where are you broadcasting from?
I'm broadcasting from my home shipping
Oh, nice.
station studio. So
Nice. So you moved because you have a studio, and you moved your studio, and you're working out of your house now.
yeah, so I have a studio warehouse space in Rogers Park. And so I've moved almost everything except for my beloved like shipping tables home. So now I'm just like hunched over filling orders. So yeah, so I've moved everything that was essential for me to keep filling orders home.
This, of course, tell us really quickly about La Familia Green, just the idea of a greeting card company. I mean, it's more than cards, but that's the central focus of what you're doing.
Yeah, so I started out as a painter and a printmaker, and in 2005 I started making greeting cards and selling them, and started doing it full time in 2007. So I made it through the recession in 2008 and learned that greeting cards are, if times are tough, you can still send a card. So hopefully that will continue. It has so far. People seem to be sending a lot of cards. I go for a run in the morning, and sometimes I'll see somebody sticking like a colorful envelope in the mailbox, and I get really excited. And I haven't feel like I haven't seen that in a long time, and all of a sudden I'm seeing it a lot. So people are definitely staying connected through greeting cards right now.
Okay, so because a lot of your work, if I'm not mistaken, will be bulk orders to stores, right? So general stores and other places will buy. And if they go and the stores are not open, they're non-essential, does that change your business practice? Does it change? You're trying to go direct to customers, or do you still get those orders and they're just selling them online?
It's mostly direct to customer right now. So mostly Etsy and through my website. And today I got a couple of wholesale orders. One, I have some grocery stores that carry my cards, so they're still open. And my stores that already had an online presence, that had websites, have been selling things, but a lot, like I got an order from a store in Venice, California today that they didn't have a website and they had to build one. And so I'm going to be a part of what they offer. So I'm sending them some products. So a little bit of a time. I've lowered my minimums for orders for stores, both like in the total amount. And if they want to order 2 of something, they can do that. So I'm being really flexible with that. And I'm just hoping that, like right now, the Etsy support, the website support has been great. I'm so appreciative for all the orders. It's definitely keeping me busy. I'm just trying to not, I like what Eric said about staying positive. I'm trying to not worry too much about what this is going to be like afterwards. I'm hoping that my stores are doing what it takes to stay in business, and that we're all getting a little bit of assistance. Not that we are yet, but that we hopefully will. So a combination of people ordering things from my stores and then being able to get some assistance from the government.
It's interesting because part of with all the bad news about brick and mortar stores having trouble right now, or any sort of non-essential businesses, it is interesting that a lot of people are going to have to move online. You've already been there. You've been able to sell your wares, directly through wholesale or just through your own through Etsy. So you're ahead of the game in the sense that you do already have that kind of built-in ability to sell your stuff online.
Yeah, I'm really thankful that that I've already had that set up, and I have a great employee who I'm sad to not be working with right now, who has done a lot of that for me. So yeah, I'm thankful that I went into this with that. I've also done some pandemic quarantine specific designs. I'm gonna more new ones too. So
are they bits? Are you doing bits? Are you doing comedy, or what's the COVID-19 line?
I have a few, but I have a hand sanitizer card, and I have a hand washing birthday card.
Oh, there you go.
So.
I was going to say, because you do so much great stuff, and it always blew my mind because I've known you for a while now, that you have to order so far in advance. that your stores want the stuff in advance. So you're probably filling past Father's Day and into 4th of July and into August, September in a normal cycle. Do you have to kind of downshift and be like, okay, I need to be prepared for the now?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the thick of Mother's Day right now, and people are ordering Father's Day cards along with their Mother's Day cards. I think people are trying to support small businesses any way they can. So some people are already ordering their holiday cards from me, just knowing that they'll need them and it's something that they can order. And I normally in May is when I do a big holiday release. And I thought like, oh, we've been busy. The summer is kind of my slower time. It goes really busy from the holidays to Valentine's Day to spring holidays. I thought, oh, I'll have all this time to get ready for my fall release, and I don't know where all this time is.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if the days are going by faster. People are just keeping me busy with Etsy orders, or it's harder for me to fill orders, so it takes a little bit more time. But all my dreams of having like being way ahead of the game for holiday 2020 hasn't happened yet.
So before I let you go, are you still fostering? I know that you're a big animal rescue, I guess, fosterer. Is that right? Fosterer?
Yeah. Foster
Okay, good.
parent.
Foster parent. There we go. Are you still, because we saw all the great news out of this is that a lot of the shelters said that they had a lot of success in sheltering and fostering dogs and cats. Are you still doing that? Because every time I see your Instagram, you have a new animal that is living with you.
We do. We have a new foster that we picked up earlier this week, and fosters have not been sticking around very long. Animals are in high demand right now, and we've been able to. I foster with Lulu's Locker Rescue, and today we pulled the last 2 adult cats that were at the shelter that we work with.
Wow.
So we cleared their cat cages. So we picked up a new guy who's a bit of a scaredy cat right now. So giving him time to decompress, but yeah, people are, there's a lot of demand. And so one thing that we have a bit of a fear of is that we don't want people to return animals.
All right.
When things go back to normal.
Yeah. Right, the shelter in place is over, and they're like, "Get rid of this thing! I don't want this. I want to."
Remember, this is a commitment for their life, not just for a few months.
Well, and the last thing I want to ask you about is just the Renegade Craft Fair, which you are a staple at. You've been at for all the ones that I've seen. Is going virtual. How important is that, or how impactful is that?
Yeah, I've been doing Renegade from the beginning, from when it was actually it's a Chicago-based organization that's now gone global. I did the first ones when we just had card tables set up in actual Wicker Park. And now it's become huge. So it's a big part of, even though mostly what I do is wholesale, it is a big part of my year, goes throughout the year. And so we're doing a virtual one on Friday from 5 to 7 and Saturday from 12 to 2. So we'll each vendor, and you can go on there. I know you guys are going to post the link. You can go and look at the roster, and it's people from, it's not just Chicago, which is cool. It's people from all over. So I've always wanted to do one somewhere else, and actually cards are really heavy. It's hard to take them all to Austin with you, or to Seattle with you, or San Francisco. So now I get to do Global Renegade. So we create our own content. I'm going to do mine on Instagram Live for those 4 hours. And I'm going to do on Friday night a tour of where I'm working from, our home, and all of our pets and fosters, and what I'm doing right now. And then on Saturday from 12 to 2, I'm actually going to do a run and a post-run stretch too. So the cool thing about this is it's not just showing, I'm not just be holding up product. It's kind of more about like what our lives are like right now. So you can go to those rosters and click on different people to check them out during that period of time. And actually Renegade is supposed to be September 12th and 13th, if that happens, the big one on Division. And I know I've talked to you about how I was supposed to run the Boston Marathon and that didn't happen. Well, the Boston Marathon is September 14th. So everything.
Oh no.
if things, who knows if we'll be allowed to do any of this, but if this happens in the fall, everything is going to be crammed together in just a couple of weekends. I don't know how I can do both,
but you'll love it just for the fact that it's all been opened up, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Mollie Green, La Familia Green. Is it lafamiliagreen.com? Is that the?
It is, and then you can. It's the same thing on Instagram and on Etsy. And I'm doing 25% off both my website and Etsy right now too.
All right. Mollie Green, La Familia Green. Thank you so much for joining us on the Pandemic Talk Show. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. I love Mollie. That's great. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Check out Renegade Craft Fair on Friday and also on Saturday. It sounds like they got some cool stuff. We will be back tomorrow. Very excited show. Very excited to have Rena Calm with us, stand-up comedian, and Yuri Lane, beatboxer, will join us as well. I'm Justin Kaufman. Goldie, poor Goldie, and TJ Shanoff. We say, see you tomorrow.
We'll do it live.
Do it live.